Hey there. I'm doing a video on this ATR trader only because I didn't realize we didn't have one. I don't use this anymore that much because I've kind of moved on to my other one, which is the strategy here, Trump Trader. So I have taken some components from this ATR and put it in this one, but this is more recent. I've been using this. It's a little bit more sophisticated and whatnot. But I am taking more and more things from this one. But I just did a little video on this one here on the eight projections. They're on the same premise. It's the same information, except that one's got a little bit more. The trader obviously has a little bit more guts to it because of filters and things like that. So anyway, this one I'm just going to delete. That's the indicator itself. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the strategy in here, and I'm just going to go through. I'm going to do it quickly here because this has been a while since I've gone through it, but anyway, I just did it on the other indicator. You have the stop loss is set at, and then ultimately, boy, where are you going to start? I'm just trying to whip this together. Anyway, if you want to use an alternative time frame, you can. So I'm on a 5-minute chart. If I wanted to change this to a 15-minute chart, I could stay on this 5-minute chart and see price action on a 5-minute chart, but all the data is going to come from a 15-minute chart. So that's why I like to call that synthetic time frames or synthetic data series, something like that. You might hear me call it back and forth. But anyway, here it's alternate time frame. So I have it set now. As soon as I save it, it's going to change. But so right now, all these settings that I'm going to do from this point forward are going to be based on a 15-minute chart, but we're going to view them on a 5-minute chart. And if you don't want that, you just undo it. Just uncheck it here. But I'm going to leave it checked. So your ATR is 2.5 times on the stop loss, and of course that trails. You could change the settings on that. I've realized a lot of people have white and black screens, so I have tried to stay away from white and black for that reason, but it is what it is. You notice on my ATR, I'm going to have one, and then my second one will be a dot dash, and second one will be a dot, dash dot dot. You can change the colors on that. You'll notice it as soon as it goes on. I would recommend that you watch the indicator video that I just did because then you can see how it works. With the trader, you have to wait until one goes on. So you can see how much your ATR, if you don't want if you don't want a third target, you just turn it off. Or you can leave it there to plot. It's just that if you don't have a third target under quantity further on down, it's just not going to do it. It'll just plot and not have anything there. But if you do have it there, it will pop it there. Okay, so now you start getting into your filters. I've since called them on my newest thing, I've called them exclusions. But if you want to use an EMA filter, you could do that. If you want it to plot on the chart, obviously by enabling it, it's going to filter. But if you show it, which I think I will, that way you'll actually see it. This separator here just separates between the two moving averages, how tight you want them, so when they cross and trip, that's how that works. You can see that within the indicators. VWAP, I've always liked this one. I don't have this in Trump Trader yet, but I think it might be going there. And that's the VWAP. I want to see it, or I want it to plot on chart, but I do want to filter it here. So I want to use, let's use the center line of VWAP. And I do want to use this one, and it's got my different things there. So I'm just going to use the center line right now. And once we get down, because of the fact that I'm using this as a filter, you'll see further on down where that takes an effect under room to target. Then if you want to change colors, etc. If you want the RSI, I really don't use that one. If you want to use the small moving average, I will use that one. I will plot it on the chart because I like that. Stochastics, I haven't used that one. If you want the volume moving average, you could use that. Put your parameters in there and you can plot them on chart. If you just plot them on chart, you'll see them on the chart, but they're not going to do anything or filter until you enable it. So right now I'm just going to leave it like that. And then you got all your colors for everything. This is a separate indicator I have right now. It's just it does the post trade. Ninja only collects data for MAE and MFE and ETD only while you're in the trade, but I wanted to see it after I got out of the trade. So I have that broken down in a separate indicator, but it is included in here. Now here's what I was talking about, room to target. So VWAP, for instance, if it notices that it does, assuming you do that, you gotta click it. So right now I'm going to click it. So if it's going for a long and we're under VWAP, and if our target is not 20 ticks, it won't do it. It'll just filter it out and skip it. If it's 21 ticks, it'll place the order. Or if you're above VWAP and you're looking for a long. On the other hand, if you're above VWAP looking for a short, you need to have 20 ticks room to target before your first target. Otherwise, it's not going to take the trade. So I really like that. You can do that for the EMAs too. And then times, it's all just time business. Oh, these here are barrier bars. Those are pretty nice. I'll put those on there just so you can see them. Time is that. Now trading. Okay, so offsets, cancel bars. This is all pretty standard stuff. One contract, trail stop, yes, and then how fast you want it to trail stop, and the pivot stops. This is being incorporated in TripleTrader as we speak, actually. These are pivots. I do like these. So basically it will jump once it gets a pivot based on these tick values. I can get into that later on another video. I'm not going to do that really too much here. I'm trying to make this short. If you want to stop at a loss, stop at a target. This was probably going to be added in a TripleTrader also because of NASDAQ. I trade NASDAQ and the Mantic market. When it gets too fast and it can't process data fast enough, 200 milliseconds, then it won't take trades because it just gets crazy. And if anybody trades NASDAQ, you'll know. If anything else other than NASDAQ, you probably won't even notice an issue. But with NASDAQ, strategies have an issue. So the trigger line, so this is when they cross each other. There's 3 of them. And it depends how fast you want them to cross. And if you want them to be in the right order. So for instance, if they cross, they'll trip, with the tripping ones. However, if you only want them to be in a certain order, then the small one has to be in front of the middle one has to be in front of that one in order to take a long. And I'll put it on a plot. You could unplot all these, they're still going to work. What else? Trailing business. Okay, this is a color. Data series. Okay, that's it. Let's just go to work on it here and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to, you need to put it on our playback. So you got to have it on your account. And I'm going to turn it on. And there we go. And of course, I don't have any data. So let's just turn it on. Oh, here's one other thing. So I forgot about that. So let me go back into here. I could turn all this garbage off. This is, so in order to make any changes, you got to go turn it off. I'll turn it on right now, even though I'm not going to apply it. VWAP. Where's the VWAP? Filter, VWAP. Yeah, right here. I don't want all those. If you wanted all those VWAP deviations, you can. I don't want them. So let's do it. Now you can see right here is the average ATR and the current bar that we are. That was thanks to Jimmy. That was his suggestion on that one. I trade a lot of Ninja Rankos, and on Rankos, they are what they are based on the bar. So the ATR is really kind of irrelevant. However, you know how much an ATR is per bar, so it will tell you the ATR. But being on a minute chart is a little different. Anyway, there's all our moving averages. These right here, you can change colors and all that business. Maybe it's a little too crowded for you. But these are the barrier bars that I was talking about. If you want to turn them on, if you want to turn it on, so you can move them. These are manual. So if you're manually trading and you see a resistance here, you could turn that on and enable barrier bar. And you could see how, I think dash is off, so that is on. If you have this on right now, if you don't have the room to target 20 ticks is what it was set for. If you don't have 20 ticks when it goes in there, you won't get it. Matter of fact, if you don't want it to trade right now because it double top, you could even do that and bring that manually. It only happens manually. But you can move that barrier bar right there. And if you don't want to take any, if you want to do the same thing down here, you can move that down there, or you can just turn this one off. So that one's off. But anyway, so this one will not take any trades unless we get into there. So anyway, let's take some trades here. Let's see if I can get it to do something here. My market replay, is it not working? No, go. Oh, maybe that's probably too fast, but that's all right. Should be okay. You can see right here when it's outside of ranges, it's not going to do anything right now because it's gray shaded. Now it will take shorts or longs depending on the color. So you can see here that it's active. And I'm just waiting. And I really don't want to spend a lot of time. Why did it just pop off? I do not know. Do not know why it just went off. I'll turn it back on. But anyway, that's the settings. I don't really use this anymore. You're more than welcome to play with it. But that's what it is. There's some bunch of videos. Hold on a second. Yeah, if you go to ATR projections here, you could see beta tested communications. There's just a lot of stuff that we did. And there's actually some videos in here, I think. Trade can, that's all my other stuff. Algos. I thought I had updates in here. Where's updates? I thought I had an update link in here somewhere. I don't know, it's been a while. In any event, just reach out to me if you want to work this a little bit more and try to play with it. I mean, it works. It's just the settings, and I just kind of moved on. So you're more than welcome. All right, thanks.